Hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Kevin's Barbecue Joints. In this episode of 10 Minutes with, I catch up with AJ Ramirez from AJ's Custom Cookers in Seguin, Texas. He makes pits, custom pits, all types. I wanted to catch up with him, number one, because I want to see how he's doing. He broke his hand, wrist. We learned more about that, and it's pretty insane. He broke his wrist semi-recently, and I wanted to see how he was doing without and how he was doing with the COVID situation. And to get into that, that's the beginning of the interview. But mostly I wanted to share with you guys, because he's a sponsor to the show, as to what he can do, his capabilities, and what type of person he is if you hadn't seen the original interview, which I'll put a link below too. He's done pits for Dayne's, for Derek Allan, for Vaqueros, for Smoke-A-Holics, for Patriotic Pig, for Panther City, for Brix, and a ton more. He has a lot of corporate clients, which is interesting. So if you're on that corporate end or you know someone, he's a perfect person for that. But he also does stuff on the restaurant end, also does stuff for the home cook and the caterers, pretty much everything, as well as a bunch of live fire stuff. If you're watching this on the YouTube part, you'll see right after this, I'm going to have a lot of examples. I'm going to show examples of his work. And if you're listening to this just on the podcast, shoot over to the YouTube side when you get a chance, or go to the website at kevinsbbqjoints.com. You can check it out and see all of his cool stuff. Pretty impressive, very unique to AJ. So I thank AJ for taking the time away from everything that he's doing to chat with me for a bit. I hope you enjoy this, and if you dig what he does, go to ajscustomcookers.com or check him out at AJ's Custom Cookers on Instagram, Facebook, all the like, and get a hold of him and place an order, because he's got amazing stuff. The Kevin's Barbecue Joints podcast and YouTube show is also brought to you by Treaty Oak Distilling. They're out of Dripping Springs, Texas. It's treatyoak.com. They recently opened at 25% capacity. Check them out. This 28-acre property, it's gorgeous. It's an amazing place. Alice's restaurant, Scott Fogel, is putting out amazing barbecue and food. They also have a grocery on site that you could order online and pick up groceries. Tons of stuff in the groceries. They also have their whiskeys, their gins, maple syrups, tons of cool stuff. Check them out at treatyoak.com. Oh, they also have sanitizer too. So if you need hand sanitizer, you can order from them. They ship within Texas and cases, I think, nationwide. If you're digging these, please subscribe. That way you don't miss out. I have a website at kevinsbbqjoints.com. Tons of content, growing every day, adding tons of stuff there. So I think it's a cool way to spend your time. If you're bored, you want to check out cool barbecue stuff, go to kevinsbbqjoints.com. Lots of photos. Try to make it photo heavy. I know we all dig that. But in the end, thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of this. Stay safe. How has this affected your business?
So far, it hasn't affected a whole lot, but so far, really, the main effect is me having to be inside with the kids. The guys that are working in the shop, I still have Bobby. I've got another new guy. They're coming and going as normal, even though we're on lockdown. They're still coming and going as normal, trying to stay progressing on things. But phones haven't slowed much.
Okay.
A couple more smaller projects than normal, and then during the past 3 weeks that we've been on lockdown, I've gotten two really big projects. So when it comes to like people calling, they don't sound too scared.
Well, and I think people are optimistic, at least right now.
Sure. And also what I think might be the big difference are my corporate accounts. More the business guys, and not the guys about to set up a barbecue joint somewhere.
Can you explain then the different facets of your business? So essentially what I wanted with this one was to kind of give people a refresher, because our last one was long and wonderful, and I'll put a link to it because I think people can get really to know you, but just if there's like maybe a 10-15 minute overview of what you do and what you offer as a sponsor, and also as a friend and someone I'm proud of your progress. I really want people to know more about you.
So basically, I would say 60%, if not 75%, are corporate accounts. What I call a corporate account is a bank, more of an institution that is going to want to gain your business.
Okay.
Like banks, I refer to that because I've got 3 or 4 banks on
What are you building for the banks?
big smokers. Basically, where a bank or an insurance agency or a rehabilitation center where they're trying to gain your business, they'll come and they'll cook for you at your establishment, kind of woo you a little bit,
Yeah.
and get your business. I have more of those than anything. And aside from that, I've got, guys wanting to get started in competition.
Okay.
Well, those aren't going on right now. So I think people are kind of holding off on that. And then, of course, the whole restaurant situation that we've got, you can't do pop ups right now. You can't do, the smaller mom and pop barbecue joint. So those guys aren't calling, but the corporate accounts keep coming. So, I think that might be a big difference of where I originally started in this business was making things for, bigger business guys that currently this isn't affecting so much.
And also, you do a small segment of your business too is for the home cook, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I mean. The guys that are home cooks, the guys that are trying to get started in this business, they're just kind of laying low right now and
Okay.
hoping this goes over. Because they're not going to invest a whole bunch of money into something that might not come back into effect for quite
Hmm.
a while. So those
And
guys.
doing that is like a gradual thing when you get started doing that, anyways.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they don't necessarily have the means right now because either they're essential and they're working more or they're not and they're not working. So if they're not working, well, guess what? A smoker's not going to be your first
Yeah.
your first thing to go buy. It's going to be toilet paper.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, toilet paper, paper towels, and pasta or rice.
yeah, for sure. Right? Yeah, yeah. Romaine noodles out the butt, man. We got them all over the place over here. These guys love them.
And it's interesting too. When I went to this is a quick aside. When I went to the supermarket about a week ago, the pasta aisle was gone. Beans were gone. All the vegetables, all the frozen goods were gone.
Crazy. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing. I've got a pretty big household with me, my wife, my 4 boys that live here. Groceries, we spend $1,000 every 2 weeks on groceries anyway. So, we're usually stocked up pretty good for a long while, but we've literally from the time they told us to stay indoors, we've done what we're supposed to. We stayed indoors, and Saturday was it. We were like, well, I'm gonna have to make a run. So, I went looking and man, everything on my list wasn't there.
Yeah, it's
So
amazing.
I'm phoning in going, they don't have this. What do you want me to get?
I tried doing one of those Instacart things where they go shop for
Oh,
you,
I know.
and it was I had $115 on my order. $29 came in. Like it was not. They didn't have anything that I ordered.
No, or they'll message you, they'll email you saying, hey, how about this for a substitute? You're like, I don't even know what the hell that
Yeah,
is.
I
No,
know
I don't
exactly. And the guy, like, I ordered apples because I thought apples make you. They were like this tiny, and I'm like, what is that, crab apple?
all the beat up apples at the bottom that nobody
Yeah,
wanted. This is what you get. But
yeah.
no, yeah, it's a crazy time right now, and we're doing what we can to do our part and stay in and stay healthy because the last thing I need is to get sick and for one of my kids to get sick.
Oh, for sure. And so, I know what you offer, but what do you offer for all these for the corporate to the competition to the restaurant? What can you offer?
Honestly, I offer a full range of whatever you need, it's funny you say that because I just got an order for some kitchen cutting tables for a restaurant. So I fabricate anything stainless steel to mild steel. I'm making some kitchen equipment for a restaurant in Dallas. I make more upper range classy type smokers on trailers that go to corporate businesses. Your standard 250, 500,000 gallon tanks for these Texas barbecue guys. Competition smokers, golf cart smokers, things that a guy can wheel around, just kind of messing around, catering for a couple of people. I mean, when it comes to cooking, man, I can pretty much make anything you need.
And you also are doing some live fire stuff too, right?
Absolutely. Just before all this stuff started, I invested a whole bunch of money in some live fire stuff. So I've got 5 live fire items that I've created. I've done some demo videos on Instagram and Facebook and kind of try to push the popularity of them out. And I've got orders for those. But now we were scheduled to do 5 or 6 events here locally, some of the bigger events that got pushed off. So, I went and bought a trailer to haul all this stuff around had it wrapped, made all these products, and here I am now. got them stuffed in the trailer, and the trailer's stuffed in the back, so it's just kind of on hold. But for the people that have seen them on Instagram and the people that have been to the house a couple of times that we've had these get-togethers,
Which looked
they've
awesome.
amazed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've amazed them, and it's just been something that I've been just dying to dig my hands into for so long because I love to cook that way. So I'm like, man, I really want to do this and get it going. So I added a whole nother section to my website. I developed all these products that all have price tags, all have names, and my webmaster that is putting all this together for me got stuck in Philadelphia doing. He got stuck in there with some COVID stuff, and he's just getting home like last week or hell, just a few days ago. And he calls me and he's like, "Man, I've been cooped
Oh.
up." He goes, "Give me a little bit to get back on my feet." I was like, "No, dude, I'm not rushing nobody right now." I was like, everybody just needs to just relax a little bit and get back to norm, you
We're
know." So,
anxious enough, and but it's also
uh,
what I want to do at the end of this video. I'm going to, so if you're watching on YouTube and if you're listening on the podcast, jump to the YouTube version. I'm going to have photos of all your products, of everything you do. You can do custom, and someone can
yeah.
send you something on a napkin and you can make it.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I tell you, that's how it all started for me. People just jotting things down and writing on the sheetrock wall of my garage, going, "Well, what about this?" And it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm as creative as can be, and whatever you can
super
think of,
creative.
if you can explain it to me to where I can figure it out in my head, you're good to go. I can make it happen.
And so I know how long you've been in business. How long have you been in business, and what are your lead times right now? That things are possibly different.
Yeah, we're at about a year. Like I've been battling a year to 14 monts. When I broke my wrist, I really thought things were gonna just super duper slow down, but the guys picked it up and they've been maintaining the lead time to where I'm not so scared anymore. But yeah, 12 to 14 months right now is what I'm sticking around.
This is an opportune time for someone to place an order because of the downtime for possibly 2, 3, 4 months. That will
Yeah,
it'll make the lead 8 months, like because you're still working while everyone else can't do things.
correct.
At least
Yeah,
for right
and
now, as long as you can.
we would normally do two big projects a month, and when I hired this other guy to kind of take my spot while I recover from
Yeah,
the
how was
broken
I
wrist.
was going to ask you. That was the last question.
Yeah, it's good. I'm 20 something days post op now. I've got good motion. I just can't squeeze your face off anymore. Like I used to be able to put a grip on somebody and make them hurt. Now it's like, eh.
What did you get it trapped in something or something smashed on it?
And I fell off a trailer. I fell off my trailer, loading some tanks up.
Uh,
Fell backwards, and 220 pounds on one wrist wasn't good. And I've never broken a bone in my life. I've never fallen in my life. I've tripped, but I've always caught myself.
that's so funny. I don't know many people that can say that.
Oh, you know what? I was more mad at myself for falling than a broken bone because if I'm
Wow,
40 something years old now and going this long without a broken bone or falling,
amazing.
like legitimately, like honestly, I was pissed. Come to find out, my power steering fluid was leaking, and it leaked down my pedal in my truck, and it coated the bottom of my foot
Okay.
with power steering fluid. So when I went to normally hop off my trailer like I would do 100 times in a year, my foot just took off and went upside down, and there I was, and that's what happened.
So you're saved from. You're not clumsy. That you've saved that.
No, I have to say that. It's just something that's never happened. I mean, I have fallen and caught things. It's like I've fallen and then here I am, 1 foot, and I'm like, yep, never hit the ground.
I fell. I
So
fell at a. I fell at a party with a beer in my hand, and I didn't spill it. Like it was in a cup, and I felt so proud.
yeah, very proud, right? Well, it's that times 10. It's like I have fallen with
That's
steel
hilarious.
in my hands and like still like never hit the ground, but I was very upset I fell too because it's kind of the unknown. It's like you break something that you use on a daily
I know
basis.
it's your tool.
Oh my God. And this my right hand is everything apparently. I can't hardly like if I brush my teeth with my left hand, it ends up in my nose. And
And you had to have plates or screws or something.
yeah, I had to have an extra large plate put in my wrist, 10 screws. I broke it in 6 places, and the doctor told me I crushed all the little bones that connect my hand to my wrist.
You fell hard.
I did a good job.
Yeah, yeah. You're
Uh,
you're a professional. So you're good at what you do, whatever it is.
so, anyways,
And so how long have you been in business so people can know?
so now we're going on 12 years. 12 years going in business or being in business. 6 years about 5 to 6 years now, where I didn't have a full-time job. So I've been totally dedicated to this business for the past 5 to 6 years. I only run two people in the shop plus myself.
And right now, people can't really, can they get tours if they wanted, or if they're doing a job with you, or
No, not right now.
virtual? You
Right
can
now,
maybe give them virtual and photos and things.
sure, yeah. I mean, not really. They don't really ask for that.
Yeah.
People
Oh,
know.
I do. Yeah, that's
Well,
interesting. I
you
always
you
thought,
do because it's different, yeah. But people know when they call me what they're getting. It's not like I have a huge shop to woo people with and be like, "This is my amazing shop with all this stuff."
but they could also get it if they look at the video that I'll post after this, the link. They can see you gave me a little tour of the shop.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And I'd love to do that today, but it's raining, it's windy.
Is it really raining?
Oh yeah, it's raining, it's windy, and the guys are just busting ass, and I don't want to get in their way. So
That's okay. No, I'm going to include photos, like I said, at the end of
okay,
this, so people can see
cool.
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I've got all that. I've got all those pictures of the live fire stuff kind of set up on Instagram. If you need to pull some of those, or
And the best way to get a hold of you is how?
phone number, email, Instagram DM, Facebook PM, text message. It don't matter. Seems like I have a lot more time to answer those things these days. So
Or if they want to write you a letter and mail it to you,
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
old
yeah.
school. Like, how is this in your area? How are people? Are people staying indoors? Are they paying attention to
No,
this? Are they nervous? Or they?
no. I was super surprised when I went out Saturday to go get groceries because, like I said, we've been doing the right thing and staying indoors. I go to the grocery store and I'm stuck in traffic. And it's like, wow, really? And there's just tons of people at the grocery store. There's tons of people in the streets. I have to
Oh,
I have to pass two parks on the way to the grocery store, and they were full of kids playing
oh
basketball.
no.
Kids, kids hanging out at the track at the high school, and it's like, no, they're not doing what they're
Yeah.
supposed to. And
Well, it sounds like kind of California a week ago because now you can't congregate anywhere. They've shut down hiking trails. You have to wear a mask now everywhere here.
that's what I
It's
heard.
mandatory,
And
which is
and
which
so
makes sense. It's
yeah, so 2 days ago, they finally shut down our parks. We have this really big walking trail out here with like, I want to say collectively, it's got like 100 miles of walking trails.
oh,
And
that's so
it
great.
goes, yeah, it goes all the way around Eagle Mountain Lake, like whole one side of it.
Oh, I want to check that
Um,
out.
And there wasn't a single parking spot available when I drove by it. And it's like these people aren't listening. And so 2 days ago, they said that they were going to shut all that stuff down. They're even taking the basketball goals off the backboards at schools
Yeah,
because the
yeah.
kids aren't listening.
Isn't that funny how you do it's but it's also too because you can't see this and because it's not as rampant as it is here and it seems like it's not going to affect and especially if you're a child you've been told so many kids have been told oh it's not going to affect you kids are dying from this too it's not
It was the unknown in the beginning, and now that we're starting to learn a lot more about it, it's crazy. And
yeah
like I've told you before, my wife is a scientist, so she knows all the ins and outs of all this stuff. And we were educated before the news was educated. Whenever
oh yeah I'm
whenever we
sure.
heard about it, she was like, "Well, let me figure all this stuff out," and she's telling us all about it. So
Well, and the fact that you said that you had to you kind of not strip down but be careful when you come in you already knew that like that's she told you
yeah.
yeah
Oh yeah, it's like we don't mess around over here, and even the guys in the shop, being that they are still coming and going from the shop, when I go in there, and I go in there probably 3 times a day right now. When I go in there, I don't touch anything. I don't rub my hands all over stuff. I take my own notepad and I write things down that I want them to do, and make sure that everything's being done, the way it's supposed to be, and then I'm out. And Bobby's like 6 feet, man, 6 feet, bro. Stay away from me. I'm like, hey, same here. I don't want no bullshit right now. Like,
but it's cool and you still enjoy this right you still really like you like doing this
absolutely. No, I
yeah
wouldn't have it any other way. Mine is the kids being at home. I'd rather them be in school. But, other than that, no, I wouldn't have it any other way. Fortunately, my wife gets to work from home for the time being that she is an essential employee. She's going to have to go to the lab pretty soon and start working on
oh wow
product. And yeah, so it's going to be something where she'll be leaving. I think they gave us till the 31st of next month, or sorry, of April, to where she'll have to actually go in, and then I'll be stuck here with everybody all by myself.
I can't wait to text you then. That'll be an interesting.
Uh, yeah, if I'm short, don't get mad.
That's okay. And also too, lastly, which
Yeah.
just to name drop a little bit, some barbecue places that you've done stuff with.
So I've got another 1,000 gallon right now for Derek Walker, Smoke-A-Holics Barbecue. I've got Patriotic Pig in North Richland Hills. They've got two of my 1,000 gallons. I do a bunch of like stainless steel equipment for local restaurants, just scattered out all over the DFW area.
And I'm going to put a list too because you gave me a list, a
Sure.
comprehensive list that, and it was
Yeah,
interesting too with all the different ethnic combinations to barbecue that you were
I tell
displaying.
you,
I thought that was
I,
like, really interesting.
I'm amazed at that because that was something I didn't notice anywhere else, and being in the barbecue world, you see a lot from the outside in. Like, Instagram is huge. And when I see all the stuff on Instagram, I was like, oh wow, that might be a goal to get to or something, but then I'm looking at my list and I noticed one of my customers had sent me a message saying, hey, I want to figure out to make some logo to put on my smoker that says Tex Pack on it. And this is a cool little name drop. And if he watches this, it'll be kind of neat. And that's what triggered it for me. And I thought Tex Pack. I go, what does Tex Pack mean? I was thinking maybe Texas, packing or
Yeah.
something like that. He goes, well, I'm Pakistan, and it's going to be Texas infused Pakistani
So
barbecue.
killer.
And dude, it was like a trigger in my brain. And I thought, you know what? I've been talking to some other guys. Well, then I produced that list that's 10 clients
Hmm.
long of the different type of infusions that I'm working on. I mean, we've got them all over the spectrum.
Hmm. All over
And
the world.
I was
It's like
like,
almost every
yeah,
type of everything and
I
things that you wouldn't
was
think of.
shocked.
Yeah.
And then I was telling my wife, and I'm like, look at this. I had to go through my contracts and looking at all the names and stuff. I mean, of course, it starts with Tex-Mex here, but we've got Israeli,
Hmm.
we've got Korean, Pakistan. I've got an Iranian infused barbecue, and it's crazy.
Hmm.
And now that I literally called all these guys, and I was like, hey, look at this list, and I started telling them all about it. Well, now they want to incorporate for themselves too, their culture into the barbecue, a device of sorts. Like I think it's Japanese that do yakitori grill.
Hmm.
One of my Japanese guys is like, hey, build me a cool little yakitori grill, and we'll go and at every place that I'm at, I'll be cooking on this yakitori grill. And I thought, hell,
That's really.
not a problem. So I went from there and I called the other guys. What do y'all use in particular? And this other guy was like, well, I do a lot of skewers. Another guy was like this certain type of chicken, and I thought, damn. So now I'm trying to make a little something that goes with each ethnicity, and how and what they can do to
So
kind
they
of
could showcase their regional food as
absolutely,
well, but with the Central
yeah,
Texas or with the Texas. Yeah, that's so great. That's
it's
really cool.
awesome. And man, I felt really proud about that. I was like, I don't see anybody else doing that.
Mm-mm.
I, and it was like, did they find me by accident, or did they know that this was the guy that's going to help me infuse my
Yeah.
culture with Texas barbecue? And I thought, I don't know. I just hope that that's what is leading, pushing them to me.
And I'll have all those companies so that way people can go to their Instagram and check them out. That's really cool.
Man, now it's like I talk to these guys frequently. Now I'm looking for ethnicities that I don't have.
You need like
I'm picking
French,
I'm picking
French
on
or
people. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Hey, you need a smoker? We can make you something that's going to help you
no. But if someone's
out.
watching this and or listening and they have something that's unique and that no one else
Oh, please.
has, you would love
Yeah.
for them to reach
Come
out.
on.
Yeah, yeah, excellent.
Please bring it. I'm ready because I'm ready to expand my horizons a little bit with that stuff, and it's something that I'm definitely, I like to be different and
Yes.
I like to create things that are different. And no other way to do it than stepping outside the U.S. boundaries and figuring out, what they use to cook and how they do it.
Yeah, and it's very indicative of the United States and the melting pot that it is.
Yeah.
It makes sense
Yeah,
completely.
and what's weird is the guy that I just hired. I was out there talking to Bobby, and it was 2 weeks ago now when I was trying to figure out how I was going to make up the difference of me not being in the shop with the broken wrist. This guy sent me a message on Instagram, and he says, "Are you looking for welders?" And I hadn't started looking yet. I was just fixing to put a post out, and I said, "Well," I said, "actually, I am." And this was just before everything had gotten started as far as the lockdowns are concerned. And I said, this was on a Saturday. I said, where are you located? He wasn't too far, so I said, come see me on Sunday. He didn't speak a lick of English,
Wow.
Brazilian,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, and my Spanish isn't the greatest. So
And
I
Brazilian
tried to
is, I've
communicate
spoken to people, it's a little different too, because it has the Portuguese or
Portuguese, and
Portuguese,
he
yeah.
speaks fluent Portuguese. And for me to speak to him, we were just exchanging words on an app that he had on his phone. So, needless to say, he laid down some of the best welds I've seen in a long time. But as far as fabrication is concerned, he needed some help. So we came to an agreement, and I said, if you want to start working Monday morning, bring it. He was here Monday morning, and he's probably the most appreciative employee I've ever had.
That's so
He is
neat.
fast, he's hardworking, and whenever he saw all the live fire stuff that I had set up in that shed right there, he got really excited because, of course, that's where he's from
Yeah,
and
exactly.
what they do out there. And he was just, and I was going, whoa, 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 whoa,
That's his
whoa.
wheelhouse. No, that's some of the best in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So that is awesome for me because he is excited to work on this stuff and he is excited to help me push my latest stuff out, and I've been, man, every day I send him a message after he leaves, man, thank you today. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity. So,
That's nice. That's
yeah, and so I'm pretty excited about having him here. And I think he's going to be a great addition to maybe push me forward where I can run my business a little more and not be on the sweating side of it all, so much.
that's so great. And I think this is like the perfect amount of time. And I think people really have a good idea of who you are in a nutshell. And kind of this is a little bit more of a focus interview than our last one. And this is perfect. I thank you again for everything you do. I'm excited to, like we've talked about, I have something on order that'll be, once I get to a point where I have my own space, it'll make sense. But
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I'm just, I'm happy to have you on board as a sponsor. I'm happy to have you on board as a friend. You're a cool guy, and and a good family guy, and a upstanding You have such great integrity. I really love you. You're a great guy.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And that's just me being me, man. And like I've told you before, whenever we talked about your mom or whatever's going on around here, anytime you need me, man, I'm here. Give me a shout.
Same. If you ever need anything here, and I can't wait to visit you when the dust
Yeah.
settles
Oh,
and
dude, when this is over, man, we got to have a big old party. I was
huge
talking
party.
to Ryan Cooper. We were messaging the other day. I was like, man, I cannot
I
wait to
cannot
get
wait
out.
too. That'll be so much.
Just
We
get
talked
a
about that.
group hug.
Well, hopefully we can all at least shake hands by then, or like shake
Oh my!
elbows, or
By then I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna hug Ryan.
no.
Just like, oh my God,
I
I
know.
miss everybody already.
There's some good people in this barbecue world, and you're one of them. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Be safe.
Thanks, man. I
All
appreciate
right, thank
you.
you. All right, take care.
Take
Bye.
care.